Alright, so before we get into an unboxing video and a setup video, I really just wanted to say thank you. And if you watch my other videos, you'll know why. But one thing I want to talk about is like why I chose this 3D printer. Okay, like the Elegoo Saturn. Why did I choose that one? One, I have the Elegoo Saturn at work. I work around teenagers. I'm a teacher, and they're pretty destructive when it comes down to it. Many years I've had a Form 2, and the Form 2 was like a $4,500 printer that it has like these quirks. Okay, I won't get into all the quirks. I'll just say that I will never use a Form 2 ever again. So there we go. Form, not so happy with it. But it taught me some stuff, so I am grateful that I did buy it for work. Because one of the things is cleaning. Okay, cleaning is really not so fun when it comes down to SLA. It comes down to working with really bad resin that smells a lot, and it only cleans up with isopropyl or denatured alcohol. If you get it on your skin, it itches. If you get it in your eyes, it's in game, and it's not fun to work with. So when I got the Elegoo, I wasn't really very excited, because I had such a bad experience with the Form 2. The way it was set up, the way you had to clean it, everything else. But then after a month of using the Elegoo, I was taken aback by the amount of detail and how easy it is to clean and maintain. So it's super easy to maintain the Elegoo Saturn. That's what I like about it. It's super easy to change between like taking it out of the machine and putting it into a rinse unit, and then taking it right into a curing unit. It's like you can almost have an 8-year-old run an Elegoo all day long, and they'd be alright with that. So the other thing is detail. I was running some hardcore simulation, like what can I produce with this, and I was getting down to like 0.25 of a millimeter just fine, and it was still maintaining detail. So this is part of the workflow is like I'll give you an example. Ring shanks, okay? Ring shanks, if you look at some of the ring shanks being produced by electroformers, they're always the same single ring shank. Why? Because that's all that they have available to them, as far as like maybe they don't have torches, maybe they don't have a press, maybe they don't have the tooling to make ring shanks. So could you make ring shanks using a 3D printer? It's a really small example, and yes, look at the detail. Which one is the 3D printed one first, right? So this one is produced with fire, electricity, and torches. I guess a torch and fire are the same thing. But this one is 3D printed and plated. It's a number 3. It's really small. It's really small for a reason. I wanted to print the smallest thing I could possibly imagine. And the detail is utterly amazing. You can't even see the level of detail that this thing has. Maybe. There you go, I'll try. Super amounts of detail for how small that is. That means anybody that was able to print off ring shanks, you could make them conductive using just acetone, just graphite, no colloid whatsoever. That means no glue, so no Mod Podge. It would have no Mod Podge. Just like that, and then coat it up, throw it in your tank, and keep its up to a kilo ohm of resistance on it. So it has a little bit to do with the type of resin that you get also. So I go over what type of resin to get. But and the type of resins in the show notes just below for this video before we get into the unboxing. Amazing machine. Can't say anything better. I'm not being sponsored by Elegoo. In fact, I did send him something to ask him, hey, you should sponsor me. I got a few people. And it just got a response like we're on vacation, so oops. But I'm going to sponsor them anyway. I don't care. They got a good product. I haven't dealt with customer service yet. One thing I will say about this is it does come with software. Stick with the basic at first. Do not buy the Pro yet until you really find need for it. I got the Pro and the free version, both at work, and I don't see a difference, really. I mean, slight difference, but not much. The only difference that I found is you were able to kind of customize the way the thing dangles in it. The supports can be really micro-scoshed around. But later, you're going to find that there is software called Prusa that allow you to do that anyway, and it's free. Alright, before we get to the unboxing, one more thing, because it's very important. The accessories for this is so inexpensive. I would highly suggest getting extra of the top platen. It's pretty cheap compared to most 3D printers. There is a tray that holds the resin, and you can get multiple trays, and you can stack them on top of each other. Just have to cover them over with a black something, and that way you can switch out very quickly. Those are inexpensive. The ability to change the whole entire screen, let's say the screen went bad in it, was super inexpensive. You can easily fix it. Everything on this model is pretty much self-fixing. You can fix it yourself for pennies compared to most 3D printers, especially the SLA ones. And it runs off of a monochromic screen, not lasers. Oh, don't buy it when it runs off lasers. Oh, it's awful. Okay, cool. So other than that, now let's go to the unboxing. Alright, are we ready? Yes. So, just make sure you know what side's up. Check to see if that's still in frame. Yes, cool. Alright, good. I don't have a camera person, so just letting you know. You're gonna get a kit. Ooh. You're gonna get a super cool 3D printer. And you're gonna get a box. And the printer's pretty much all put together for you. Boom. You know, really, this plastic here, I might keep that on for a while. It doesn't hurt it, one, and really the one at work is getting fingerprints a lot, so I might keep this on for a little bit, just for a few runs till I get everything set up. It's not going to hurt it at all. Okay, so you get this. Okay, keep that. Don't put this on a dirty surface, of course. It's got a plastic on it. In fact, I can get rid of the plastic right now. It's got a sandblasted surface right here. So just take care of that. Don't try to scratch it up too bad. There are ways to recoup it back, and we might install something else later on that allows a magnetic release, but for right now I'm going to use it just the way it is. Okay, this thing. So there's two screws. There's two screws right here and here. You can take this out. Okay, you see this film right here? This film can be replaced. It says, please peel before use. Okay? It's also got another one here, please peel before use. Okay, so before I peel those, let me go over to something. You're going to need this eventually. Release film liner. Okay, so what this will do, this will allow you to replace the film here, this film. Okay, I still haven't really had to replace it at work. It's had a lot of use so far, and I still haven't had need to replace it, but it makes it super simple to replace it. It's got some screws. Okay, I don't think I'll ever use. So there's 5 pieces in here. It's going to take me quite a long time before I need all 5 pieces. This stuff's pretty cheap too. So I would highly suggest getting that because you're going to need it eventually. Okay, so inside the kit, inside your toolkit, you got this, and you're going to need this piece of paper. They stuck it at the bottom. This, okay? It's called the leveling paper. You're going to need that. And you're also going to need the bigger Allen wrench. Boom. Alright, so what we're doing is loosening this one. Okay, and we're also going to loosen this one. And what that does, it allows me to rotate it back and forth and this way too, and up and down. Okay, we're going to need to level this, and all those need to be loosened. Cool. I'm going to take a second to plug it in. That's not going to be something I need to record, but it plugs in the back like this. I just got to install a plug back there real quick, so I'll be right back. Alright, so now that it's plugged in, power it on. Hopefully that's up. Yep. Okay, this is super simple if you do electroforming. This is entirely super simple to hook up. So what we're doing is going in tool mode, and then we're going to go into manual, and then we're going to raise, this is 10 millimeters, so we're going to raise the bed about 6 times. And while we're doing that, you can see that this thing's going up in the air. Cool. And a couple more times. Alright, so that gives me the space that I can now take this off. You do not want any dust. None. Zip. Zero here. So if you got some dust on your card, you know what I mean, like, make sure you're taking care of that. I'm gonna put it shiny side down, just in case. Okay, so what you do here is you zoom out. Cool. And we're putting this on there. This needs to be loosened and then tightened. Cool. Again, remember I loosened those Allen wrench, so this allows me to do that. Allows me to push up and down. So make sure of that before you do the next step, which is hit the home button, which is located right here. It's like a little home. Alright, sweet. Now what you do is you first center this by rotating it, and you get it in a good eyeball that it has equal spacing all the way around it. Okay? Then you lightly press here, and that will flatten out the card. It should be already flattened, but don't press real hard. You do not need to. And then you tighten these Allen wrenches up. Boom. Boom. Now, if you have 2 of these, I would suggest doing both of them. Here's the advantage of having 2. When you get done printing, you can instantly start printing again. Not the 3D printer itself, but this little, you can buy extras of these. Alright, so that's the only thing you need to actually do on the printer. You just raise it up now. If you've ever had an FML or the printer that comes off a reel with ABS plastic or PLA, FDM. If you ever had an FDM printer, you'll know that there's quite a bit of setup with it. This is one movable object. There's no aligning anything. Okay, except for that. That was it. Now, we'll put back the tray before it gets any dust on it. Cool. And we put that back on there. It's got a little bit of screw there that it sits into, or a key. Put these back in. Now this stuff hardens under UV light. I have all LED light in here, so I got the same way in my other lab at work. It takes a while. It takes a long time. So don't think that, you know, when you have this thing open, it's going to instantaneously harden. It's not. All right. And then you gotta shake your monomers. What the heck's a monomer? All right, so this is Syratec Resin. Okay, it's fast. Syratec Resin. Got this resin because it's really good at being conductive once you know how to like apply it. And I have another video on where I'm applying graphite and acetone to this type of resin to make it conductive. Another reason I got this resin is it's really durable. So this is a test card, okay, that you print. That took a lot of effort to break that, okay? It might look like it snapped, but it's 0.25 of a millimeter, okay, 0.25 of a millimeter. The next one is 0.5 of a millimeter, and I can't really snap that. This one is 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, and 3 millimeters. The 3 millimeter is practically indestructible when it comes down to it, but this resin, I can print that thin, and I could probably print thinner than that even. That means I can use it as a conductive base for ring shanks, and I can make fake organics. Cool stuff. So Syratec Fast, and I use gray because it's easy to see when I apply the graphite to it. But you gotta shake this really well. I mean, super well before you add it to this vat. I'm just gonna put it up in the air a little bit more, shake this off camera because it's weird, and then I'll dump it in. Alright, before I open this, let me go over to a safety thing. While you're using resin, especially if you have damaged hands like I do, make sure you're wearing gloves. It's stuff that you do not want to get on your hands. It is irritating as all get up, because it will make you itch. If you are sensitive to chemicals, it's definitely nothing you want to get on your skin. To clean it off your skin, you need denatured alcohol or isopropyl alcohol. Cool. So, there we go. Also, eye protection. You do not want this in your eyes. Because to get it out, you would have to use isopropyl alcohol, right? So that wouldn't be a good thing. Okay, comes with this. Don't lose that. And it has a fill line right here. I'm going to put the fill line in the back. So I'm going to unscrew this again. Now I'm going to rotate this. So now I have that little line, see it says max? Yeah. There we go. I dealt with this stuff for many years on the Formlab side of things, and my biggest fear was like it's going to catalyze. You know what I mean? It's going to harden. All right, there we go. Again, leaving that plastic on for a little bit until the plastic gets dirty, then I'll remove that plastic. That was the setup. Pretty easy, right? Pretty easy. Okay, let me go into a few things about like what you're also going to need with this setup. So I'm going to clean up just a little bit now that I got it together. It's all put together, put my resin away, and then I'll go into a few things that you're going to need. Okay, so some things. The two things that you see over here is a cleaning station. So when the model gets out of this 3D printer, it goes into the cleaning station, and it's got a rotary magnetic stir in the bottom. Okay, and it's really easy to just turn on. You rotate the knob, set it for 30 minutes, and click the button, and boom. Now that would make an amazing electroforming tank if it wasn't for the fact that they use metal bearings. But look at the cyclonic effect there. Oh, it's so good. So that's your cleaning. You're going to need one of these. It's the Elegoo something. I'll put it in the show notes. Okay. And then the other thing is a UV curing agent or engine. Again, rotate it, turn it on, boom. So after it gets out of the 3D printer, it goes into here for about 30 minutes. Then it comes out of here, you take it off the platter, and then you put it in the UV curer. And then it stays in there for another 30 minutes. I have worked with this stuff without these two, and I will tell you, it was not a fun time. Okay, so for $179, you can get both units, and it will definitely help you. Okay, I would not try to do it without it. I would almost get these first before you got your 3D printer. That's what I did. Okay, this has 2 gallons of this in it, denatured alcohol. Now you can use isopropyl alcohol, which is a lot more expensive. It's the same composition just about, and it actually works just about better, if not, I would say it works better. I don't like the isopropyl alcohol. I kind of like the denatured alcohol better. Okay, so that's 2 gallons of a flammable liquid in your house in a plastic container, but it's rated for that type of solvent. So it is safe. Just be aware where you've got this thing in your house. Alright, last but not least, the smell. Okay, VOC is something that you don't want in your house in an area like, let's say, a closet. You don't want it in a room where it's closed in. Don't do SLA 3D printing in a 1-bedroom apartment, or a 2-bedroom apartment for that matter. Don't put it in your bathroom. Okay, be smart about this. It is highly noxious. The smell is not good for you. If you're trapped in a room with it, you're actually going to get a little sick. It's nothing that you want to have in a very closed-in area. Okay, you might want to vent this. There's no doubt about it. You might want to like take and vent this out to the real world. I am in a huge Michigan basement. This thing is not sealed at all. It might look cool in the video, but really it is not sealed. I don't usually smell anything upstairs because it's highly drafted down here. So I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about a lot of that stuff because of that. So if you're in a nice Michigan basement, you're good to go. But when it comes down to any kind of apartment, I probably wouldn't go the route I'm going right now. Unless you have a way to vent it out the window or a vent. Alright, and one last thing, temperature. Okay, so in this basement right now, it's probably about 60 degrees. It doesn't dip very far below 50 degrees. This will be okay down here, but this is nothing that you want to put in your garage. Okay, you can't do 3D printing with SLA in your garage in a cold state. 40 degrees and below, 40 degrees and anything under that, I would highly recommend moving it somewhere warm. Okay, build a box with insulation, whatever you have to do. So that's the other thing, heat. Okay, so last but not least, one of these cords is very helpful. See how it goes from USB to USB female? So instead of wearing out that port on that, I would highly suggest getting one of these cables. Plugging it in. You're only plugging it in once there, and now you're wearing this out. This cord is probably like a $3 cord versus that board. Okay. I only learned that trick by having a bunch of teenagers in my lab using equipment, and they constantly wear out the USB because they're impatient. This will stop that. Boom. You might ask, do you need to network this thing? No, do not network this thing. Use the USB. I tried to network it. It wasn't very impressive when it was networked. It's so much easier just to stick your USB in here and then hit play, and that's it. So it's not bad. Alright, so there we go. That's the unboxing video. While I had the chance, the opportunity to be able to like set it up for you and how that looked, it's super easy in the box. There's the same instructions I just went through, so you know, like, if you're at all confused, there's a lot of unboxing videos for the Elegoo too. Amazing people that have been 3D printing with that product for a long time, all the way back to the Mars build. So if you ever get lost and you want to see that too, I just wanted to give back a little bit and show you my take on it. But yeah, I hope you had fun, and see you in the next video.